Now today's subject is about resolution of disputes and what is the mechanism. In insurance field there are many disputes arising between the client and insurance company, and intermediaries and insurance company. Some of these disputes can be resolved by other than civil courts. So some mechanisms have been devised for resolution of policyholders disputes, that is clients disputes. Today we will discuss grievance cells of insurance company, which deal mainly with clients disputes or policyholders dispute. Then IRDA system of integrated grievance management system, which has been recently devised. It is improvement of normal working of grievance cells of insurance company. Then insurance ombudsman, which is working in India under grievance redressal rules. Consumer forums under Consumer Protection Act, how they operate in field of insurance. Civil courts are there for many years, but they are time consuming. So other forums like insurance ombudsman and consumer forums are handling many or very big majority of the insurance disputes. Then we will see law commission recommendations. They are just recommendations, they are not law for the time being. So these are just for the purpose of information, and if any question comes in the exam you may reply. But let me clarify once again, they are just a recommendation, not law. So you cannot rely on them in practical life. Now every company is supposed to have grievance redressal cell as per IRDA regulation. They are to maintain at their controlling office or at regional offices. Public sector companies are having regional offices at many places. Small private companies may not have at regional offices, so they may have at controlling office. It should be manned by senior officer, at least middle management level, and whatever complaints are received by cell are to be handled by them as independent authority and try to resolve them. Most of the complaints are about claims, so wherever possible this grievance cell should try to dispose of the complaints as early as possible and as per IRDA's guide limits. Then as per IRDA regulations, every policy is to contain address and other information about grievance cell of the company, where it is located, what is the address, telephone number, fax, email, etc. So that in the event of any problem or in the event of any grievance, the policyholder can approach the grievance cell. Then improvement on that, IRDA has devised recently integrated grievance management system which operates on online. So these were into effect from 2010. As per that, every insurer has to have the system and procedure for receiving, registering and disposing of grievance in each of its offices. So every office should have grievance person, grievance officer. Then every regional office should have as a centralized office, and in few cases even at head office it is required. Then procedure and turnaround time, TAT, is to be mentioned in the policy, how much time it will take for dispose of a particular type of grievance, whether pertaining to documentation, document not issued, policy not received, endorsement not received, or in the event of claim, how much time it will take for insurance company to dispose of the complaint. Then minimum time frame prescribed by IRDA is under policyholders protection regulations, that we will see later on. Part of that we have seen earlier also. Then whenever any complaint is received by insurance company, it is mandatory for insurance company to acknowledge the complaint and say that it is under process, and this is to be done within 3 days. As soon as complaint is received, within 3 days it is to be replied. Now at the time of acknowledging and replying, it should state the name and designation of attending officer who is going to attend the complaint, and in future whom is to be contacted. Then it has to contain the procedure. What will be the procedure? And turnaround time, TAT. Many times it can happen that complaint is minor, document is not received. So by the time complaint is received, document has been forwarded or similar thing. So in that case, acknowledgement is compulsory, but along with acknowledgement, insurance company to state that complaint is resolved. In what manner it is resolved? It is to be informed, and then client's comment, etc., or their satisfaction is to be expected. Now, maximum time for disposal of any complaint is 2 weeks, and the time required to send the final letter. These are IRDA guidelines. If insured is dissatisfied with insurance company's handling of the complaint, it may go to IRDA, or in case of personal lines, he may go to insurance ombudsman. In other matters, he can go to consumer forum or civil court. And if there is no response from the client after insurance company has replied that complaint has been disposed of, after 8 weeks, insurance company can close their complaint, and in their register they can mark it as closed and submit the returns accordingly to IRDA. Now, for personal line of claims and documentation problems under Redressal of Public Grievances Rules 1998, Government of India has constituted Insurance Ombudsman, Bima Lokpal. The work of Insurance Ombudsman is to take care of complaints which are arising out of working of insurance companies and not satisfying their policyholders. So it has to try to resolve complaints relating to the settlement of claims by insurers in cost-effective manner, effective manner, and impartial manner. The award of ombudsman should be impartially given, and though it is not compulsory for him, generally the awards are given citing the reason for the award to prove that they were given as per policy condition under the circumstances in proper and impartial way. Now, as far as appointment of ombudsman is concerned, many people or one person can be appointed from life sector or non-life sector. There are many places in India, around 11 places, where insurance ombudsmen are operative and they are having certain territories. For example, for Gujarat, Maharashtra and Goa, ombudsman is at Bombay. So these three states, Gujarat, Maharashtra and Goa, all complaints should be referred to ombudsman at Bombay. It is to be headed by a senior person from life or non-life. So either person can handle personal line of matters. Personal line means any policy which is issued in individual name. For example, a policy is issued in name of Rajendra K. Ganatra, then it is personal line. So in event of any complaint against insurance company, I can approach ombudsman. But if policy is issued in name of Rajendra Ganatra and a company, then it is corporate entity, it is not personal line. So I cannot go to ombudsman. This is the difference. Second, there is ceiling of claims up to 20 lakhs. If higher amount is involved, then even in personal line, personal cannot approach ombudsman. It has to go to other forums like consumer forum or civil court. Ombudsman is supposed to handle certain types of complaints. For example, partial or total repudiation of claim. So any amount which is disputed in the event of claim settlement by insurance company, if amount paid is less or amount is not paid, then person can approach ombudsman. Now under property insurance policy conditions, when partially claim is allowed, first the client has to go to arbitration. But that condition is not applicable, or parallelly, client can also go to insurance ombudsman if it is matter of personal line of insurance. So in case of personal line, client is having two choices. In case of property, he can go either for arbitration process or he can go to insurance ombudsman. Both avenues are available to him other than our other avenues. Those other avenues we will see slightly later. The dispute about premium payable. Now this is more relevant when tariffs are there or fixed premiums are there, or in stray cases where insurance company have charged unreasonably high loading or unreasonably high premium. In that case, client can approach insurance ombudsman. Ombudsman can fix reasonable premium or premium as per market practice, or if IRDA has given any guideline, what would be the premium payable as per IRDA guidelines. Then, if any dispute arises about legal interpretation of policy in the event of claim, whether claim is payable or not payable, or if insurance policy condition or warranty, if interpreted in different manner, then client can approach ombudsman who will interpret in correct manner and give his award. The delay in settlement. If claim is delayed within time limits prescribed by IRDA, then he can approach ombudsman, and ombudsman will direct insurance company to settle the claim as early as possible. Or if claims are not settled, he can issue his award after going into circumstances of the case. Then if document is not issued after receipt of the premium, many times it takes very long time for insurance company to issue the document. Earlier it was very frequent, but now every insurance company is having full-fledged computerized system. So grievance under this head will be very few. But even if they happen, then client can approach insurance company. Ombudsman. Then very important, ombudsman can also act as mediator also. Now rules are not very clear whether mediator he can act in only personal line or all lines of business. So wherever ombudsman is approached by both the parties, the client and the insurance company, with agreement that whatever judgment or award will be given by ombudsman will be binding on both the parties, then system is called the working as a mediator. In that case, both parties will authorize in writing ombudsman to decide the case, and that they will be accepting. Okay, so other than these five, ombudsman can work as mediator also. Now, client or policyholder cannot approach ombudsman directly. There is prerequisite procedure or prerequisite conditions for approaching ombudsman. As I told you, he can be approached only for personal and business. The policies which are issued in individual names, not in names of firms or body corporate or cooperative societies. Secondly, amount limitation of 20 lakhs also is to be kept in mind. Then before approaching ombudsman, the person has to make a representation to insurance company's grievance cell. And if insurance company has not given any reply within 1 month, then after 1 month, ombudsman can be approached. Or within 1 month, if reply is negative, if reply is not satisfaction to the policy holder, then before completion of 1 month also ombudsman can be approached. And time bar is 1 year from cause of action, from the time the dissatisfaction has started, claim is rejected, etc. 1 year is limitation period, but in very few circumstances ombudsman can waive the delay and decide the case provided satisfactory reason is given to him why the complaint was not lodged within a year's time. If very big delay is there, then complaint may not be entertained by ombudsman. So when matter is referred to other alternative dispute redressal system like civil court or consumer forum, then one cannot approach ombudsman. But after approaching ombudsman, if client is still not satisfied, he can approach consumer forum or civil courts. Those avenues are open, but once client approaches court of law or consumer forums, then he cannot go to ombudsman. In that case, consumer forum or civil courts will be deciding the matter. As we saw, ombudsman can also act as mediator. In that case, application is to be made by both parties to dispute and their agreement that whatever award or judgment is given by ombudsman, that will be accepted by both the parties. In that case, ombudsman will be giving his recommendation within 1 month, and if recommendations are not accepted, he can even give award within 3 months of reference of dispute to him. So generally time limit is 3 months for deciding any dispute referred to him. But in practice, because of many complaints being made, it may take longer time. Now procedure is very simple. The client has to make a written complaint on plain paper to insurance ombudsman. He will call for the papers from insurance company and then call both the parties. Now both the parties means representative of insurance company and either client or client's agent personally. At ombudsman, lawyers are not allowed, legal practitioners are not allowed. Only clients should go and or his agent. Both parties are heard and then award is given by ombudsman. That is very simple procedure. No fees are paid. An award given by ombudsman will be communicated to client first. If client accepts, then insurance company will be informed about the award. Now client is having choice. He may accept insurance ombudsman award or he may not accept. If he accepts, then insurance company will be directed to act on the award within 14 days of acceptance by the client. If award is not accepted, then client can go to alternative forums like consumer forum or civil court. So it is client's choice whether to accept the award or not to accept the award. Now that was about ombudsman only for personal line cases, amount involved up to 20 lakhs and acting as mediator in certain cases. Now we will see another forum, consumer forum. Consumer forum is open to all, whether personal line clients or non-personal line clients, even to corporates. There is some view that corporates cannot approach consumer forum, but National Forums has given judgment that because insurance contract is contract of indemnity, even corporates can approach consumer forums. But the final hearing is, final matter is pending with Supreme Court of India. Till then, cases are accepted even for corporate matters also. The dispute is there because the Act says that wherever there is any contract for profit, the person cannot approach consumer forum. But as I told you, insurance contract is contract of indemnity. It is not contract of profit. So as per National Forum, they can still handle corporate sector's claims. In 1996, Consumer Protection Act was passed. Under that, consumer forums were created. The act was passed for simple, speedy and inexpensive redressal of consumer complaints. It was also for better protection of consumers, and it covers all types of goods and services, including insurance. Initially, insurance was not part of Consumer Protection Act, but subsequently in 1996 it was added. Sorry, there is typing error in the first line. It was passed earlier. In 1996, insurance was added as one of the services. It covers all the sectors, whether public sector, private sector, corporate sector, and these provisions of Consumer Forum are in addition to any other laws. So client is having choice, either he can go to Consumer Forum or Civil Court or any other forum which is applicable or available to him. It is for all matters related to goods and services. So insurance is a service, so it is covered under Consumer Protection Act and Consumer Forums. Consumer is other than persons purchasing goods and services for commercial purposes. So if services are free without any money, then person cannot move to Consumer Forum. So against charitable organization, any claim will not lie, any complaint cannot made to Consumer Forum. Similarly, when policy is taken under Married Women's Property Act 1874, policyholder, nominee, assignee, beneficiary, all are treated as consumers. So whoever is actual end user can approach forum for redressal of grievance. Service includes all types of services which are for consideration, which are for money, and which are not free of cost. So as I told you, one cannot move against any other organization which is giving services free of cost or which is charitable organization giving services on charitable basis. Now claim will lie in forums for deficiency of services. Now what is deficiency of service? It is faulty service, imperfect service, or inadequate in quality, nature, or manner of performance. So if faulty settlement of claim, improper settlement of claim, quality is not proper means faulty document is given, policy is issued wrongly. The nature is different than whatever is demanded or expected. Client has asked for one type of cover, insurance company has given different type of cover. Then also it is deficiency of service. Manner of performance, insurance company is not settling claim, settling lesser claim or rejecting claim. So all this will come as part of deficiency of service. It can involve documents and claims both. So document is deficient, wrong issue of document, etc. Then claims, repudiation of claims, delay settlement of claims are also covered under deficiency of service. Structure of Consumer Protection Act, COPRA. COPRA operates at 3 levels depending upon the amount of claim involved. First level is district forum. In most of the districts of India, consumer forums are there. They are manned by district judge with 2 members. Out of these 2, one should be lady member, and amount involved up to 20 lakhs. So any claim up to 20 lakhs should be referred to district forum. Then higher amount, about 20 lakhs, but up to 1 crore. One has to refer claim to state commission. State commission is generally at capital city of the state. It is manned by High Court judge plus two members. Out of 2, one should be female. Amount up to 1 crore. Then third layer is National Commission headed by Supreme Court judge and 4 members. Out of 4, one should be female. Amount should be more than 1 crore. Any amount above 1 crore should be referred to National Commission directly. Now, limitation period is 2 years from the date of cause of action, from the date of rejection of claim, or from the date of lesser offer of claim, or from in case of non-handling of claim by insurance company or not settling of claim by insurance company, from the date of lodgement of claim with insurance company are example of starting of limitation period. In few cases, when there is delay on part of the client to approach the forum, it can be condoned on application provided reasonable reasons are given for delayed approach. For example, insurance company was promising the client that they will settle the claim and they linger on the matter for 3 years, thereafter they reject the claim. So, insured can approach the forum with application, and most of the times when reasons are reasonable and justifiable, delay can be condoned. Now, any judgment of any forum can be challenged within 30 days of judgment by the forum, but appeal should be to higher forum. If case is decided by district forum, it is to be referred to state commission, decided by state commission, then to national commission. So, if case is filed in district forum, then appeal would lie to state commission. If state commission also rejects the appeal, client can go to national commission, and in case of judgment by national commission, matter can move to court of highest court, that is Supreme Court of India. So, district forum to state commission to national commission, and national commission to Supreme Court of India. If case is directly filed to national forum, then appeal only to Supreme Court of India. So that is the system. In case of ombudsman, there is no appeal, but there is difference of working style. Ombudsman, whatever award is given, client can accept or reject. As far as insurance company is concerned, there is no choice of rejecting the award. So, there is no scope for appealing to higher authority. But consumer forum, either party can make appeal to higher authority. Now, as per the provisions, before appeal can be heard, the party who is appealing, generally if it is insurance company, then 50% of award is to be deposited or 25,000 is to be deposited. If it is appeal against the order of district forum, 35,000 if it is against the order of state commission, and 50,000 if it is against order of national commission. If it is not insurance company, then 25,000, 35,000 or 50,000 is to be deposited by the insured. So, whichever amount is less, that amount is to be deposited before appeal can be heard. Now, if order is not complied with, the forum can levy fine from 2,000 to 10,000, and in many cases it can award imprisonment also, which may be from 1 month to 3 years. Earlier these penal provisions were not there when original act was enacted, but the awards given by consumer forums were not honored by the parties, so this provision was enacted. So now this penal provision forces the parties to implement it as fast as possible. So if the award is not honored, then other party can approach the forum for remedy against these provisions. Now, third type of dispute resolution mechanism, as I told you, this is under property insurance like fire, engineering. It is not under marine policy, and that is arbitration. In case of property insurance, there is policy condition that wherever the liability is accepted by insurance company, but amount offered by insurance company is less, the client cannot go to civil court. It has to go for arbitration. If insurance company has rejected claim, then arbitration provision is not there, then client has to go to civil court. This is provision in insurance policy for many years. When this provision was there, that time ombudsman and consumer forums were not there. So now in case of amount offered less, personal line matters, client is having choice. He can go for arbitration, he can go to ombudsman, he can go to consumer forum, or we cannot go to civil court. As far as non-personal line policies are concerned, arbitration, consumer forum. These two choices are available to the client. Now this arbitration should be as per Arbitration and Conciliation Act provisions in India. Under that, notice is to be given by either party of moving to arbitration. The person giving notice has to appoint an arbitrator. After receiving the notice, within 1 month, the other party has to accept that person as sole arbitrator and give consent for commencement of proceeding, or appoint another arbitrator of his choice and communicate to the other party. This is to happen within 1 month of receipt of the notice by the first party. If both the parties have appointed arbitrator each, then 2 arbitrators will be there, and 2 arbitrators cannot decide a matter in all cases. If both are in agreement, then there won't be a problem. But most of the times, if both are of different opinion, one will say claim is payable, other one will say not payable for the amount, then matter cannot be decided. So to avoid such situation, there is provision that when more than one arbitrator is there, 2 arbitrators are there, both arbitrators will sit together and they will decide a third person to be appointed as umpire. Now umpire will sit at arbitration proceeding, he will be observer, he will remain at proceeding, he may not take active part, he will remain there only as observer, and when there is non-agreement between the award of both the arbitrators, then he will give his own award, either agreeing with either parties. In that case, the decision will be decided at majority. Now this is something like a third umpire in cricket matches. He is not on the field, but he is observer sitting in commentary box and watching the match, and when there is a dispute or matter is referred, he will decide similar matter. So it has, in cricket it has come out of Arbitration Act, you can say like that. As I told you, it is only for non-marine policies. So marine policies, there is no provision of arbitration. So personal line marine policies, person can go to ombudsman or consumer forum or civil courts. Non-personal lines, consumer forum or civil court. No arbitration procedure. Now civil courts. Civil courts are open to clients as well as insurance companies in all matters, whether of personal lines or non-personal lines. There is no distinction between the matters. But under property insurances, in case of dispute about payment of premium, payment of claims, when insurance company has accepted the claim, the client can go only to the civil courts. In that case, they cannot go to arbitration. So when claim is rejected, client has to go to civil courts. Claim is accepted, but amount is in dispute, then arbitration. That is provision under property cases. But in all cases, consumer forum is accessible. So Claim accepted, rejected, client can go to consumer forum within time limits. Generally, time limit is 3 years under Limitations Act, but under property insurance, indirectly there is restriction of 12 months. In the sense that if the client doesn't go to civil court within 12 months of arising of cause of action like rejection of claim, then he is treated as forfeiting his rights of taking any legal action against the insurance company. So after 12 months, rights of filing any claim under civil court or under legal process is surrendered by client to the insurance company. That is limitation condition of property insurance. But once again, suppose 12 months are over, still client is having avenue of going to consumer forum. So while deciding which forum to go, various time limitations and various laws applicable, policy conditions, etc. are also to be studied. As I told you, general limitation period under Limitation Act is 3 years, but insurance policy is 12 months because of policy condition, where client is deemed to have surrendered his rights of filing any suit in court of law if 12 months he is not taking any action. As far as civil courts are concerned, they have to follow the procedure of Civil Procedure Code, Ombudsman, Arbitration, Consumer Forum. There is no procedure. They can follow their own procedure. So Civil Procedure Code is not applicable. Civil Procedure Code prescribes the procedure to be followed by the court. So on technical ground, if procedure is not followed properly, then also judgment given by civil court can be challenged. In case of other avenues like ombudsman, consumer forum, etc., if on technical ground, the decision cannot be challenged. So following of Civil Procedure Code is very essential for civil courts. They are also depending upon the amounts where the claim is to be lodged, that is to be decided. It is differing from state to state. For example, in Maharashtra state, for Bombay, now civil courts can handle matter up to 1 crore. More than 1 crore, you have to go to High Court. So it depends from place to place, whether to High Court or to District Court or City Civil Court. It depends upon constitution of legal process in that particular area. But following up Civil Procedure Code is very, very essential about witness, about taking witness, then questioning witness, etc. Adjournment of cases, what procedure is there, all that is to be followed. As matters are many, with civil courts, there are no special courts for insurance matters. So they are time consuming, and in place like Bombay, it takes anything between 10 to 15 years to decide case. In case of ombudsman, it is 3 years, consumer forum around 6 months, but because of many cases getting accumulated, delay may take place. For that, Law Commission has suggested further avenues, we will see slightly later. Then in case of judgment by the civil courts, appeal can lie to higher courts. If city civil court or district court has given decision, then appeal can lie to High Court. High Court has given decision. If it is single judge, then it can be referred to full bench if it is allowed. Then from there it can go to Supreme Court of India. So various procedures as per Civil Procedure Code are to be followed. So remedy at civil courts is time consuming. Moreover, it is expensive also. Court fees are to be paid. There, advocates or legal practitioners are required to represent the case, though it is possible that client can go directly, but because procedure under civil court is to be followed, it is cumbersome procedure, so generally client would prefer to engage advocate. So fees are many times expensive depending upon the type of advocate engaged by the client. So all these things are not there in case of ombudsman or consumer forums. Ombudsman and consumer forum, there is no need of approaching through any advocate. Person can go himself. Now we will see in brief recommendation of Law Commission. As I told you in beginning, these are only recommendation, they are not become law. So wherever Parliament will accept this recommendation, then only it will become law. So under those recommendations, life policy not to be questioned on any ground after 5 years. Earlier we saw that after 2 years, life policy cannot be questioned unless it is about non-disclosure of material fact. But as per recommendation, any fact, whether it is material or non-material, insurance company cannot question after 5 years. Before 5 years, insurance company can avoid if it can prove misrepresentation of material fact only if it was done fraudulently. And such misrepresentation should be for direct bearing on the risk. If insured has exercised due diligence in disclosure of material fact, it cannot be treated as misrepresentation. That is the suggestion of the Law Commission. Then secondly, very important provision, intermediary is deemed to be working for insurance company. Now the law is not very clear. Under Indian Contract Act, law of agency says that agent is working for client and not for insurance company. In practice, broker is said to working for the client, and is a normal agent or corporate agent is supposed to work for insurance company. But nothing is hard and fast, things may change. Under law, all are supposed to work for insurance company. So that's why this is recommended. For avoidance of policy, insurance company has to give reasons, and those reasons should be explained in detail. Now insurance companies are just quoting certain conditions of policy that will not be allowed. Then very important thing is they have suggested setting up of grievance redressal authority, GRA, to settle the dispute between insured and insurer, insurer and intermediary, and insurer and insurer. So this is very important provision, but just suggestion. Then they can also deal with decision taken by adjudicating officer or investigating officer appointed by IRDA to look after violence of laws and regulations framed by them or by the parliaments. So against that also, person can approach grievance redressal authority. Every company is to set up in-house grievance redressal mechanism under supervision of IRDA that we saw earlier, but certain modifications are required. The GRA will replace ombudsman. So in other words, GRA will take over personal line complaints as far as insurance matters is concerned. Dispute between insured and insurer about personal line matters only will be dealt by GRA. Other disputes, whether pertaining to personal line or non-personal line, will be handled by them. It will be statutory body looking after personal line of claims as done by ombudsman. GRA to be appointed for every major city of the country. Now ombudsmen are there only for major 11 places, but now they say every major city. This is for speedy redressal of the grievances. They will be having powers of civil court, much wider than ombudsman, and all matter with consumer forums, lying with consumer forums of personnel will be transferred to GRA. In case of application by claimant, GRA to be appointed as mediator or conciliator, like presently it is done by ombudsman. Decision of GRA will be final and it will be equivalent to decision of a civil court. So indirectly, civil court jurisdiction for personal line matters will be dispensed with. Composition of GRA, it will be multi-member body, one judicial member and two technical members. Technical members will be from insurance line. They will be helping the chairman of GRA and will be appointed by Chief Justice of High Court. Appointed by government, and consent of Chief Justice of High Court will not be necessary. All members to hold office up to their age of 65. Technical members should have experience in their own field of working in insurance of minimum 15 years and will be appointed by General Insurance Council. They will be recommended by General Insurance Council and they will be appointed to GRA. In case of any dissatisfaction about the award, the aggrieved party can move to IAT, Insurance Appellate Tribunal. Insurance Appellate Tribunal will handle appeals from GRS decision, IRDS decision. GRS decisions means personal line matters and non-personal line matters about other disputes not relating to insurance claims, etc. IRD orders, report of adjudicating or investigating officers under IRDA. Then it should have one legal member and two technical members. They can work up to age of 68. They will be having principal bench at Delhi and other state capitals. They will start functioning first at Delhi and spread to other state capitals. Then any non-satisfaction to be referred to Supreme Court of India within 60 days of the award. Then there is provision of some fees to be paid, to be decided by government at the time of constitution. So handling of the matter by these authorities will not be free. So these are recommendations of Legal Commission. So today we discuss given redressal procedure of insurer and IRDA, then insurance ombudsman, consumer forums, arbitration, civil courts, law commission recommendations about GRA and IAT.